The Girl Who Waits in the Rubbish and the Light, a Symphony of Shattered Glass and Mended Wings. The Rubbish Pit, where childhood died in the suffocating heart of Uganda's forgotten corners, where the sun beats down on mountains of broken things. Plastic bottles like shattered rainbows, rotting food weeping into the earth, rusted metal sighing under the weight of abandonment. There lived a child named Hellen. She was 4, but her eyes held the wisdom of ancient ruins. Her home was a rubbish pit. Not beside it. Not near it. In it. Her mother, once a woman who sang lullabies with honey in her voice, now moved through the debris like a ghost. Her mind, fractured by the fists of a man who called himself husband, had shattered like glass. Some days, she'd stare at Hellen with eyes that saw nothing. No daughter, no love, no light. Other days, she'd weep, her body curling into itself like a wounded animal, whispering apologies to the wind. Hellen learned to navigate this graveyard of hope. Her small hands, meant for toys and crayons, learned to pick through shards of glass, to find scraps of food not yet claimed by flies. She learned to sleep to the lullaby of rats scuttling, to wake to the symphony of vultures circling overhead. The night everything broke. It rained. The rubbish pit turned to a swamp of filth. Hellen's mother, lost in a maze of her own mind, stepped on a rusted nail. The scream that tore from her throat wasn't just of pain, it was of a soul being devoured. Hellen watched, frozen, as her mother bled into the mud, her eyes wild with terror. That night, Hellen didn't cry. She couldn't. The tears had dried up long ago, replaced by a hollow ache that settled deep in her bones. The rescue, hands from the darkness Eco-Agric Uganda, found Hellen curled beside her mother, the child's body a shield against the cold, her eyes wide with a fear too big for her tiny frame. The workers didn't just see a child in need. They saw a fragment of humanity clinging to life in a world that had forgotten her. The journey to San Martino. The car ride was silent. Hellen stared out the window, watching the rubbish pit shrink in the distance until it disappeared. She didn't ask where they were going. She didn't ask about her mother. She just held her breath, as if afraid the world would crumble again if she let it go. San Martino Primary School emerged like a mirage. Green grass, clean walls, the sound of children laughing. For Hellen, it was a foreign country. The first night, she slept under her bed, the mattress too soft, the silence too loud. The darkness of the rubbish pit had been her home. This light felt like a lie. 3. San Martino. Where shadows dance with hope. Hellen's days at San Martino are a delicate dance between healing and haunting. She sits in the front of the class, her back straight, her hands folded neatly on her desk. But her eyes are always searching, scanning the playground during break, looking for a face that never appears, scanning the road during pickup time, hoping for a woman with eyes like hers. Mrs. Nakey, her teacher. Mrs. Nakey sees the shadows in Hellen's eyes. She kneels beside her after class, her voice soft as morning mist. Your mother loved you very much, Hellen. Sometimes love gets lost in the storm, but it never truly dies. Hellen nods, but the words feel like stones in her throat. The friends who became family. Aisha, with her braided hair and missing front tooth, sits beside Hellen at lunch. She shares her orange, peeling it slowly, as if unwrapping a gift. My mama says you're strong like a lion, Aisha says. Hellen wants to believe her. But lions don't wake up crying for mothers who vanish like smoke. Eco-Agric Uganda's steady hand. The organization doesn't just pay Hellen's fees, they wrap her in a blanket of care. Social workers visit weekly, bringing books, sweets, and stories of women who've survived the dark. But no story, no matter how hopeful, can fill the hole where her mother used to be. 4. The absence. A silence that screams 3 years. 1,095 days. 26,280 hours. Hellen counts them in her head. She counts the seconds since she last saw her mother's face, since she last heard her voice, since she last felt her arms around her. The questions that haunt. Where is she? Is she safe? Does she think of me? Does she remember my name? At night, Hellen lies awake, tracing patterns on the ceiling. She imagines her mother in a place with soft beds and kind hands. She imagines her healed, whole, searching for her. But the images always fade, replaced by the memory of her mother's eyes. Empty, lost, adrift in a sea of pain. The dream that breaks her. Hellen dreams of the rubbish pit. She dreams of her mother calling her name, her voice clear and strong. Hellen runs toward her, but the ground turns to mud. She sinks, her legs heavy, her lungs burning. Her mother reaches out, but their hands never touch. Hellen wakes up gasping, her pillow wet with tears, the echo of her mother's voice ringing in her ears. V. The resilience. A heart that refuses to break despite the shadows. Helen's spirit flickers like a candle in the wind. She excels in class, her handwriting neat and precise, her answers thoughtful. She helps younger children tie their shoes, her hands gentle, her voice soft. The letter she can't send. Hellen writes letters to her mother. Pages and pages of words she'll never mail. Mama, I am learning to read big books now. Mrs. Nakey says I'm smart. I hope you're proud. I miss your laugh. It sounded like bells. Do you remember? I think of you every day. When the sun sets, I look for you in the clouds. Sometimes I think I see you smiling, but it's just the wind. Please come home. I'm waiting. Love. Helen. She folds the letters and hides them under her mattress. A collection of unsent prayers. The moment she shines. During a school play, Helen plays a tree. She stands still, her branches, arms, outstretched, her roots, feet, planted firmly. When the other children dance around her, singing about growth and strength, Helen's eyes fill with tears. But she doesn't break. She stands tall, a tree that has weathered storms, her roots digging deep into the soil of San Martino, reaching for the light. 6. The intervention. Ripples in the darkness. Eco-Agric Uganda's work is more than just rescue. It's a revolution of love. They've supported 94 girls like Helen, each with a story etched in pain and resilience. The Bill and Barbara Geyer Rotarians Memorial Vocational Training Center, steered by Eco-Agric, becomes a beacon, a place where girls learn not just academics, but the art of mending broken wings. The social worker who became family. Sarah, from Eco-Agric, visits Helen every week. She brings books, but more importantly, she brings presents. She sits with Helen under the mango tree, listening as the girl talks about her mother, her voice trembling. Sarah doesn't offer false promises. She just listens. She holds Helen's hand when the tears come. She says, "Your mother's love is in you, Helen. It's in your strength, in your kindness, in your heart." The community that rallies. The village of Kyankoj has embraced Helen. Neighbors bring her food. Teachers stay after class to help her catch up. The local priest mentions her in his prayers, asking for a miracle. Helen feels the love, but it's a bittersweet comfort, like a warm blanket on a cold night, but the cold still lingers. 7. The unfinished melody. A love that waits. Helen's story is not just of survival. It's of a love that refuses to die. A child's love for her mother, a love that endures abandonment, poverty, and the crushing weight of the unknown. The hope that carries her. Helen believes she will see her mother again. She believes it with a faith that moves mountains. Every morning, she wakes up and whispers to the sky, "Mama, I'm here. I'm waiting." Every night, she looks at the stars and says, "Mama, I'm safe. Please find me." The resilience that inspires. Helen's courage is a testament to the human spirit's capacity to heal. She is a reminder that even in the darkest places, light can break through. That even in the deepest pain, love can grow. 8. Your invitation to the Light. Helen story is a call to action, a plea to see the invisible children, to hear the silent cries, to mend the broken wings of those who've been forgotten. Engage, amplify, become part of the light. By supporting Eco-Agric Uganda, you're not just helping one child. You're helping to rewrite the stories of 94 girls. Girls who've known the darkness of rubbish pits, the pain of abandonment, the ache of unanswered questions. You're giving them the chance to heal, to hope, to thrive. Donate, share, volunteer. For in Helen's eyes, Uganda's future is waiting. Bright, resilient, and infinitely worthy of love. Final Embrace. Helen's story is a symphony of sorrow and strength, of loss and love. It's a reminder that even in the deepest shadows, the human spirit can soar. That even in the darkest nights, the dawn will come. Let her wait no more. Let her hope no more in vain. Let her love find its way home. For in Helen's heart, a mother's love lingers. A love that waits, a love that hopes, a love that will never ever die.
The call to embrace zero waste, a love letter to our planet and ourselves. Every piece of trash you've ever thrown away still exists. That plastic fork from your takeout lunch? It's floating in the Pacific, choking a turtle. The coffee cup from this morning? It's buried in a landfill, leaking toxins into the soil your food grows in. The disposable diaper your child wore? It will outlive your grandchildren. We live in a world of convenient lies. We're told waste is out of sight, out of mind. But the truth is, waste never leaves. It just transforms into poison, into suffering, into a debt our children will pay with their health, their safety, their future. But what if I told you we hold the power to rewrite this story? Not with grand gestures or empty promises, but with the simple, revolutionary act of choosing zero waste. The weight of our waste, a human tragedy. Consider this. Every minute, one garbage truck of plastic is dumped into our oceans. Every year, 8 million tons of plastic enter marine ecosystems, enough to circle the Earth 425 times. Every second, an area of rainforest the size of a football field is destroyed to make room for landfills. These aren't just statistics, they're eulogies. For the albatross starving with a stomach full of plastic. For the child in Mumbai breathing toxic fumes from a burning landfill. For the indigenous community in the Amazon losing their home to waste incineration.